Yo, yo. Boruto Manga chapter 38, people. Honestly, I can't tell when last I've read, a manga where, chapter upon chapter upon chapter is just straight, Yo, Boruto Manga chapter 38, people. If I say it every month, if you are not reading the Boruto manga and you're strictly on the Boruto anime, you need to put the anime down completely and just get into the manga. As you can already tell by the video title, the review aside, this video will contain spoilers for anime only watchers and those of you who haven't read manga chapter 38 of the Boruto manga. Naruto and Sasuke have been defeated, and putting that into perspective, if you don't know what that means, how big of a deal this is, you obviously haven't been watching Naruto, or you probably haven't even, you haven't gotten the big picture of the power scale where Boruto is concerned. Let me put it for you like this: Naruto and Sasuke are the two strongest persons on Earth, and they just got how would you put it? Mid-diffed by Jigen, who's apparently not even really Jigen. But anyway, enough of the initial reaction / impressions. Let's get into Boruto manga chapter 38, the review portion. Rate, comment, subscribe, people. I hope you guys have been, I've read the chapter, but let's get right into it. Boruto manga chapter 38. Where do I begin? Of course, the chapter starts off where we left off last time, with Jigen assuming his horned form, and Sasuke basically gives him the lowdown, or the information that he gathered from observing Jigen in the next dimension, including stuff like the miniature Ten Tails, the fact that Jigen resembles an Otsutsuki, that unknown Otsutsuki to Sasuke. So after that, they quickly get back into the fight because the mission still remains the same. They have to stop Jigen. He's obviously there to observe the chakra of the planet. Well, based on Sasuke's assessment. I thought that was a bit of a rushed assessment. Well, probably not a rush, but I felt like, I feel like there is obviously more to Jigen just being here to absorb the chakra of the planet. He is an Otsutsuki, confirmed by the end of this chapter, and to that end, it would be part of his plan to probably absorb the chakra of the planet. But at the same time, early judgment by Sasuke, I'd say. But anyway, that aside, we get back into the fight, and Naruto and Sasuke finally decide to go 100%. Sasuke perfect Susanoo, Naruto summoning the chakra avatar for Kurama, going in. And it's at this point we have Jigen basically starting to pick them apart. It was wild, people. Yes. I'm sorry. It's just hype. Alright, so we have Jigen easily, penetrating the defenses of the perfect Susanoo, and even going as far as penetrating the defenses of the Kurama avatar easily. So I don't even know anymore, people. Jigen is just overpowered, honestly. Going forth after this, we have some of that traditional teamwork by Sasuke and Naruto, which was very refreshing. The choreography was nice, even though the chapter itself went by very quickly. We have Sasuke pulling off the whole switching places with his Rinnegan. We have him switching places with Naruto, trying to cut off Jigen's neck. But honestly, even that strategy that was in the chapter where we had Jigen kick Naruto out of, he managed to penetrate the defenses of Kurama, kick Naruto out. Naruto goes on with the Rasengan. Sasuke comes in. Sasuke calls out to Naruto. Naruto realizes what's going on. They switch places. Sasuke tries to chop him. Of course, Jigen has some of those chakra rods now close to his neck, and he just enlarges them to block Sasuke's attack. And honestly, this chapter has fully established Jigen as At this point, he might as well be unstoppable. Honestly. Honestly. If all the chapters before this didn't fully establish the threat that Jigen poses, it's this chapter, honestly. And he's overpowered to the point where he easily, just by hand-to-hand combat, his offensive powers to the point that he beats down Naruto and Sasuke, that Naruto loses or comes out of his 6 power 10 hands tail beast chakra mode, and Sasuke is basically on death's door at the same time. Of course, by the going towards the end of the chapter, we have Naruto and Sasuke being pinned up with the chakra rods that Jigen uses, and it's at this point that he basically says that, yo, in the translation that I read, he initially mentions that he doesn't plan to kill them, he just plans to seal them there. But at the same time, he then thinks about it and says like, yo, of course, Sasuke can still escape anytime using his space-time ninjutsu, so it would make sense to kill Sasuke. Sasuke at this point only has enough chakra to do one more space-time ninjutsu, so at this point Naruto makes that ultimate sacrifice and encourages Sasuke to escape, while he holds off Jigen with some shadow clones. Honestly, this was the only move they could make at this point, because one of them has to at least survive. Even if Naruto's not dead, but if it came down to it and one of them had to die, Naruto would have to be the one in this situation. For at least Sasuke, if Sasuke can escape, at least he should escape at this point. And I agree with the choices in that situation right there. Now, it's at this point where Naruto and Sasuke are basically going back and forth saying that, yo, there must be a way to beat him, but it's going to be very difficult if it's just one of them included in the equation here in fighting Jigen in the future. Now, Sasuke quickly agrees with Naruto's plan and escapes. Of course, Naruto at this point converses with Jigen. He tries to play off the point, play off the fact that Boruto has karma, but of course Jigen already knows, and he tries to rile up Jigen, but Kurama advises him. And it's interesting that Jigen can it seems like it's implied that he was able to hear that conversation between Kurama and Naruto, so there's that. Wow. It's at this point Jigen decides that, yo, it's gonna take too much effort to actually kill Naruto at this point because of the Kurama healing factor, so he decides to just seal him. So apparently where they've been fighting was an enlarged dome, or enlarged like bowl landscape, it seems. So Jigen essentially just pulls down the top half, closes on Naruto, and shrinks it back down and leaves him there. So Naruto at this moment is sealed away in another dimension. And of course, towards the end here, we get the revelation. Surprisingly, like, it's just another twist in even though it's a battle chapter, we've set things up with a major twist going forward. Apparently Jigen isn't actually Jigen. Well, how should I put it? The body is the character known as Jigen, but the person inhabiting his body is Isshiki Otsutsuki. So we start to get more in terms of this whole vessel, because he starts referring to Jigen as a vessel. Towards the end, we get Jigen shedding a tear, and we have Isshiki, like, talking. It seems like if you didn't know better, it would be like Jigen talking to himself like in third person. So obviously Isshiki Otsutsuki has taken over Jigen's body, and it seems like it's a kind of position where the host body is still conscious of, or still at least aware of what's going on around him, it seems. And of course the chapter ends by Isshiki essentially space-time ninjutsu teleporting himself to another dimension. I'm not sure if he's back on Earth. Of course Sasuke teleports himself to Sakura. And by the end of the chapter, we have Sarada asking where Naruto is, and we have Kawaki holding the picture of Naruto, and of course the arm that Naruto gave him falls off at this point because it was powered by Naruto's chakra, so of course it's going to fall off since Naruto's been sealed away and everything. And that's where the chapter ends. Wow, what can I say? Honestly, this chapter was wild. It was very fast paced. I mean, we already in previous chapters established Jigen is a credible threat, but this chapter really and truly reinforced that. It went from 10 to 100 on whatever skill you could have marked out of 10. He's a very credible threat, very powerful. Naruto and Sasuke losing at this point, being the strongest persons on Earth. Honestly, it's... If you weren't... like, I'm just lost for words. If you weren't invested before, I'm pretty sure you're invested now. Now, as I said, the choreography of the fight itself was pretty good, pretty well done. I know a lot of people usually complain about Naruto and Sasuke going all out, but with this chapter, I know some persons that are going to still factor in the fact that Sasuke did, you know, space-time ninjutsu twice before the fight even started. But even so, even if you want to use that or factor that in, even if Sasuke was at 100%, it honestly wouldn't have made a difference. Honestly, they went all out in that fight, and Jigen, well, Isshiki made... Honestly, Isshiki wasn't even going all out. Based on it's clear they can't beat Isshiki Otsutsuki at this point. Of course, I forgot to mention towards the end of the fight we had, or did I mention already? Yeah, Jigen's body seemingly can't handle the entire power of Isshiki, it seems, and that led to Isshiki saying that the vessel is essentially worthless and he really needs to get Kawaki. So even with that, it kind of starts to tie up some loose ends, or at least it starts off tying up some loose ends towards the flash forward we had between Boruto and Kawaki. I'm sure a lot of persons have already theorized that it might not actually be Kawaki and that it was Jigen, but at this point it seems like it was actually Isshiki Otsutsuki that might be in Kawaki's body in that face-off between Boruto and Kawaki that we see in the flash forward. So that's going to be interesting to see how it all ties back in. Also, it does seem like it raises the question that does Naruto escape at some point, or will the time skip come and it's only after the fight between Boruto and Kawaki does Naruto escape? Because the thing is, if Isshiki is really inside Kawaki in the flash forward, then it would all make sense why he would have mentioned that line in the flash forward, if you get what I'm saying. So it's starting to tie up loose ends. So if Naruto doesn't escape, we know for sure that towards the end, or towards that point in the timeline, that it's not actually Kawaki in control. Or even the way, I believe it was a comment, where did I see this today? Somebody mentioned, I saw somewhere online that, you know, somebody pointed out that even the way that Kawaki was talking in the flash forward, it seemed like, based on his mannerisms that we've seen so far, it seemed like it wouldn't be him in the situation. So possibly Isshiki in the flash forward. Yeah, wow, oh my god. And then this chapter also raises the question, how strong will Boruto and company actually get towards the end of the series or after the time skip? Because if Naruto and Sasuke were taken care of to like mid difficulty by Isshiki without going full power, it might as well have been low difficulty for him, because he easily bypassed the defenses of Susanoo, similar to, I believe, in the fight between Naruto, Sasuke, and Kage, how Kage like easily bypassed the defenses of the perfect Susanoo. I'd say Isshiki probably did it even easier than that. So there's that to factor in. All in all, I thought it was a great chapter. Pacing was fast, the fight kind of went by quick, they went down kind of quick after a few attacks, but you know, this fight started from last chapter, so yeah. But taking things into consideration that if in his initial karma release form, if Naruto mentioned that his attacks were powerful and Naruto was in his 6th path enhanced form, and then he takes it up a notch beyond that, and factor in the fact that he's able to bypass perfect Susanoo and the Kurama avatar, the 6 paths enhanced one, with ease, then the fight was destined to end very quickly, as we saw in this chapter. There's no going around it. It's not even like bad writing, anything like that. You can't make any excuse and say that, you know, they shouldn't have gone on that path. Factoring all of that, perfect. Establishing Isshiki as a credible threat, and kind of starting to give us some idea of how the future of the series might go. Honestly, this chapter is one of the best. It's like, I don't even know, people, like the past like 4 or 5 chapters have been absolutely amazing. Honestly, let me know what you guys thought of the chapter in the comment section below. Let's have a discussion about it. Of course, I want to do much more discussions this time around, going into leading up to chapter 39. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think Naruto and Sasuke went down too fast? Do you think Isshiki is overpowered? Well, he is overpowered, but do you think it's justified based on, you know, everything that's been said between last chapter and now, and his performance at the beginning of this chapter? I think it makes perfect sense. And of course, it raises questions. It's good when a story can raise questions, as long as they eventually get to answering them. And the big question right now is, how strong will Boruto and company get, and how will they get there? Because right now, Isshiki Otsutsuki, stronger than everything. I'd probably even go on to say he's probably stronger than Kaguya. Honestly, like far stronger. Honestly. But at the same time, before I even end, I like that even though they introduced him with this ridiculous amount of power, they kind of dial things back to say, yeah, he has a weakness. He has a time limit to how long he can actually fight in Jigen's body, at least. So there's that. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought. I'll probably do, I don't want to promise on tomorrow, but just let me know what you guys think. This chapter was wild. Rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks for the support, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.